Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you game 1 in a series between AiTarra versus Hazed. This is from the World Championship series here on Ohana, a Protoss versus Zerg for you. And let's get this game on the road. Alright, on the bottom right hand side of the map we have Hazed spawning as the blue Zerg player. Meanwhile, on the top left hand side of the map, we do in fact have Tara spawning as our red Protoss. Protoss versus Zerg. Nothing too interesting about this matchup, except it is one of the 6 matchups in StarCraft 2 that everyone is very familiar with. And the current metagame has really gone into very heavy macro styles of play. Even on a map like Ohana, even though it is just only a 2-player map, only 2 starting locations, the map is very wide open here in the center. Also, there are a good amount of expansions that you can take. 4 expansions. There's kind of 2 stuck in the center, and then 4 on the opposite side as well. As now an Overlord is booking its way across the map, and will be able to start revealing some portion of the map over here on the top left and on the bottom right. Now, even if Hazed does try to go for a spawning pool first, because of the way the map is laid out and because Tara did scout out relatively early, he is going to be able to respond and react accordingly. You can see the probe is coming in, taking a look around, sees what is going down, and pretty much knows that there isn't going to be a fast hatchery anytime soon. Drones are still being produced, and because of that, because those drones are still being produced, he doesn't have to really worry about setting up a very fast forge. There's 2 routes in which you can fast expand here. You can either try to establish a forge first and then a photon cannon, or you can go your nexus first, then go for a forge, and then try to go for a double gateway to finish off that wall in, and then allow that photon cannon to come in. We'll see if Hazed is aggressive or not, as we are going to see the probe pulling away the drone now trying to come around. Is the probe going to be doing a little bit of blocking? It looks like it's going to be doing exactly that. Oh, takes the turn just a bit too wide, as Hazed is able to set up a hatchery here. Now on the front door, it looks like that forge will be placed down. Tara currently supply blocked at 18/18, not going to be able to do much of anything else. Going to perhaps set up 1 gateway, if not, or perhaps even 2 at this point, as the probes is wandering around. The Zerglings will make their way down though, and what is this probe going to be doing? The probe is simply going to be returning back home, perhaps sitting at his Zelnaga tower, and it will see the 4 Zerglings now making their way across the map. What is this one probe going to do? Oh, the probe is just going to sit there and continue to get more scouting information, and we now see that double gateway warp in by Tara, and I like this response, getting the gateway a little bit earlier so that it does have a little bit more hit points and is not going to be taken down nearly as easily. If this gateway should fall, you can still warp in some pylons here, or perhaps another gateway and a cybernetic core, and you only lose very little resources. The Zerglings now trying to take down this 1 gateway here. The gateway is going to complete. We should be getting in that cybernetic core now. There it is. A pylon should be able to finish off that wall in here. And is it going to happen? Oh, it is getting very close. Tara, beautiful timing. Able to get in that photon cannon, take down 2 of the Zerglings. So 50 resources lost compared to, I would say, what is it, 67? No, 112. So the scouting probe was taken down. So 62 resources lost for 50. A very good trade by Tara, as Tara is now sitting on 21 probes versus 19 drones. Hazed getting up this 2nd hatchery now at the 3rd base. He is going to be running up on 3 bases, and this tells me that we aren't going to have any true aggressive play from either of these teams for quite some time. Zerglings looking to destroy the destructible rocks. Gateway is going to be training up a Zealot, perhaps taking down 1 to 2 Zerglings. Most high-level players should be able to retreat with those Zerglings in time. A Zealot now making his way over. The Zealot should be able to get off perhaps 3 swipes on each Zergling, or on the Zergling. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, getting off 1 quick kill there. 3 more Zerglings, perhaps going to try to test the front door. No, decide against it, since there is that photon cannon there. And now we're just going to see this probe hide off over here. So this probe hiding off over here, perhaps it will be able to set in a proxy Stargate or something a little bit later, as harassment will be needed. So far, Tara does know about all of the bases. There is a queen now down here, and it is going to be up to Tara to try to be aggressive. Level 1 weapons upgrade now coming in. There is 1 gateway here, all of this off of 1 production building so far. Tara does have 2 additional assimilators here and here, and So far, not getting gas on them just quite yet, since it is not yet completed. All right. Hazed sitting on 3 bases. And now I am curious as to why Hazed is not destroying these destructible rocks on the back door. Perhaps linking these bases together, making it much more easy. Stalkers and now Zealots making their way across the map. This probe may try to come back around, set up a proxy pylon, perhaps up on the high ground and then on the low ground. Nope, it is going to be straight up on the low ground. As we see the pylon trying to warp in now. Stalkers and Zealots going to try to engage. There is the Queen. Zealots going to be battling it up, taking down a couple quick units. There is the pylon now warping in as well. The Queen going to engage that Queen very, very fast. And if you don't notice, there's actually 2 darts coming out from that Queen. The Queen now down to 39, 31 hit points. Now trying to run away. The Zealot unable to really catch up to that Queen. And what is the Zealot going to do? The Zealot now going after a drone, able to take down the drone, but actually getting taken down as well. Stalkers just trying to run away from those Zerglings. The Zerglings unable to chase down that 1 hit point Stalker, as the units are going to be retreating now. We are going into hallucination and also the establishment of the 3rd base for Tara. Tara now needs to figure out what his 4th base is going to be, where he's going to place down that next hatchery, and if he's even going to bother with a macro hatch. No tech to tier 2 yet, no Glio reconstitution, spoke too soon. Hazed now teching the tier 2, as we are already seeing level 2 weapons upgrade come in from Tara. Alright, Stalkers and Sentries. It looks as though an Overlord will get shot down here. Yes, down it goes. Well, no, 3 hit points. Wow. Misgauging that a little bit supply blocked by Hazed. But Hazed now getting up 3 additional Overlords will have no problem there, as he did get a round of drones off. 56 now compared to 50. As another Overlord looks to come in and do a bit of scouting. We are going to see the Twilight Council has been finished, or it will be finishing that Blink research in just a moment. Overlord flying in will see that Twilight Council research and now trying to get away. Where are these Stalkers going to go? The Stalkers could perhaps blink, not reveal it, and get underneath that one particular Overlord. The Stalkers don't yet have blink. I spoke a little bit too soon. The Overlord's now just not going to be able to get away. No, down to 6 hit points. 1 more shot is needed. There you go. It is getting taken down, as now Tara looks to wall off his 3rd base and has taken down these backdoor rocks. I'm curious as to whether or not Tara is going to put in another pylon here to make sure that units can't get in on this front door, and then just funnel all of the units in between on his 3 bases in between this choke point here. Zerglings and Roaches now making a move out, but it is going to be 0-0 units up against 2-0 in just a moment. And Tara, with that very, very strong upgrade advantage, should be able to take down this attacking force with little to no issue, even though he does have a smaller defensive force. Defender's advantage plus a couple photon cannons should be enough. The Zerglings do not want to try to test that front door. 1 Zealot here. That 1 Zealot would be able to kill off a lot of units, perhaps even a Roach on the high ground there, as we now see Tara in a very good defensive posture, and now he's going to be set up for the late game. Now, Zerg late game versus Protoss late game. It is a little bit up in the air as to who has the advantage. A Colossi very effective, Corruptors very effective as well. Broodlords also very, very good, as long as you do have that Greater Spire. There's a couple force fields trapping in some Roaches, some Zerglings as well. It looks as though the Stalkers did do a little bit of smart blinking. A beautiful play by the Protoss player. Good map awareness, making sure to minimize that damage now, as the Immortals are now being added as well. So Immortals being added. Immortals going to be very difficult to handle. Level 3 weapons upgrade. Is it being chrono boosted out? No, it is not. We are going to get into a hallucinated Phoenix. So 1 hallucinated Phoenix already moving across the field. Going to catch some sight of those Zerglings. Roaches and Zerglings making sure that there isn't another base, as we now see a warp in of Zealots. And these Zealots are going to run straight in. There are 5 Spine Crawlers here and a 6th Spine Crawler now being added, as the Zealots are going straight after the hatchery. The hatchery taking a lot of damage, and it looks like the hatchery is simply going to fall. There's no chance to recover it. And we're going to see 1 to 2 transfusions. Not going to be enough, as the Zealots, 6 Zealots, take down 1 hatchery. A little bit of a trade there. It is going to force the rebuilding of that hatchery, so 350 resources lost, and also some significant mining time loss and production time going to be lost there. The Spine Crawlers still do not know about that Zealot up on that high ground. The Spine Crawlers are all in defensive position here. The destructible rocks and this massive mobile static defense going to be very effective. And where are all of these spine crawlers going to go? That is going to be the key point here. So far, we are seeing 5 spine crawlers with 8 more being constructed. And they could perhaps make their way in here without a problem whatsoever, or perhaps even try to wall off across the center in a north versus south position. Now, Zealot is making a look around, and at some point, Tara does need to take up a 4th base. He doesn't need to do it just quite yet. 2-0 upgrades. We are going into 3-0 upgrades, going into double Robo, double Colossi with extended thermal lance. Stalkers already have blink, but I am curious as to why Tara has not gotten double forge for additional upgrades. Armor and weapons upgrade, very, very important. Level 3 weapons upgrade already completed. But you also want armor upgrades to make sure your units are more beefy, especially Corruptors against Colossi. And Guardian Shield is going to be utilized. And if you can also add in the fact that there's going to be some base armor on that Colossus, the Colossus can take a lot of damage before being destroyed. Level 1 ground armor is now being added. It is going to be chrono boosted out. 151 versus 142 at the 15-minute mark. So far, normally at the 16-minute mark, a Zerg player is able to hit maximum supply, but there is a whole bunch of spine crawlers on the map. If you're wondering where did a lot of that supply go, it is currently sitting in spine crawlers. 16 spine crawlers here on the front. That is the reason why it looks as though Tara is in the supply advantage, since 16 drones were lost in order to establish up that massive defensive wall. We are now going into Broodlords. Broodlords with spine crawlers, a very devastating combination. And now we're going to see this massive Protoss death ball make its way in. No observer though to shut down any of these creep tumors, as the stalkers are just wandering around and will be able to take down this hatchery very, very easily. Tara in complete macro control of this game. He has some photon cannons here as well. Those photon cannons are going to be very effective, as Stalkers now simply getting up onto the high ground and going to take down, perhaps take down the Greater Spire. The Greater Spire looks like it will get taken down. A sniping of the Greater Spire, beautifully played. The Stalkers now blinking in a massive group back down onto the low ground. Doesn't even need smart blinking. Simply able to just blink back down on the low ground here, as Tara with a massive, massive army and still has supply cap to work with. Hazed, on the other hand, has a very decent, very expensive army as well. Here we go. Broodlords are going to be making their way and taking down these rocks very quickly. In come some Phoenixes. The Phoenixes are going to spot these Broodlords. Broodlords and perhaps need to get retrained and rebuilt. The Spire does take 100 seconds to build and then another 100 seconds to upgrade. That is a lot of time lost potentially, as Stalkers are now trying to engage. One Spine Crawler looks like it is going to take a lot of damage here. In comes some Zerg and some Roaches. There is some beautiful force fields as the Immortals are focusing down a lot of those units. The Corruptors have to be very careful here, as the Broodlings trying to find their target. It looks as though, yes, the Broodlings will get swiped down. We are now going into the Templar Archives, Stargate, and also going into double Warp Prism play. Something that you don't see very often, double Warp Prism, as Tara needs something to spend all of his Chrono Boost on. He could perhaps try to Chrono Boost out more armor upgrades if he wanted to. We are also going into Dark Shrine. We could even perhaps see a Fleet Beacon, and that would be every tech path possible for the Protoss. Meanwhile, we are simply missing a Hydralisk Den and Ultralisk Cavern for the Zerg. Oh, and Banelings. Oh, surprisingly, no Banelings, as we now see another strong push coming in. Here we go. Stalkers trying to engage. There is a fungal growth. A lot of those Stalkers will take a lot of damage here. They will not be able to get away, and it looks like those Broodlings are just going to try to chase, not really deal much, as Tara with 7 Colossi, able to deal 42 times 7 damage, was at 202, almost 300 damage if there is no armor, as the Immortals are quickly going to get finished off by some Broodlings. No, it looks like the Immortal is backing away just in time. The Immortal able to survive. Now, let's take a look at the upgrades. Zerg is fighting his way back into this. Warp Prisms are going to be coming in from the north and the south position all at the same time. This potentially could be huge, as we already have Tara running up on his 4th base. So 4 base Protoss versus a 3 base Zerg. This is not looking good for Hazed at all. Hazed does have this massive Spinecrawler wall here. He is very defensive, but Zerg needs to be aggressive as well, as a massive Dark Templar army simply making his way inside the base. Going to be able to take down the Infestation Pit. You can see Overseers trying to be added. Oh, are they going to go after the Hive? The Hive is taking a lot of damage here. What is happening next? The Zealots now warping in over here as well. The Hive may get taken down to 700, 600 hit points. It looks like the Roaches will be able to finish it off down to 263. A huge play, and Tara may be able to follow it up, but now a huge attack at the 4th base. Fungal growth is coming in. The Colossi trying to finish this off, but there are no more very few stalkers in this group now. Without any more stalkers and massive fungal growth, Hazed looks like he is going to be coming back into this game, as he has taken down and defended what was a superior army, and now Zerg, Hazed, has the advantage. Alright, this Hive at 273 hit points. It looks like another round of Zealots will be just dropped off to take down the main tech building here. How much damage can be done? Here we go. Zealots going straight. They should be going straight for the Hive. I'm not sure why they're not going for the Hive. Here we go. Finally going to attack the Hive. The Hive will fall, as we now see a large round of Zealots also warping in. Roaches battling up against the Zealots. Dark Templars also here as well. Both sides fighting, and the burst damage on those Dark Templars absolutely amazing, as we are now going into a fleet weekend. Massive Broodlords now looking to come in, going to clean up this entire attacking force as well. Fungal growth, Zealots stuck on the ramp. A Dark Templar, is it getting attacked? No, I do not believe so, as there is nope, there we go, finally getting revealed because of that one Overseer. Colossi now trying to make a move across the map again. The Spire is once again being replaced down. No Greater Spire. All those Broodlords have been around for quite a while, as the Stalkers are going to shut down another hatchery before it gets up and running. And now the Colossi trying to go after more units, but here we go. Infestors, fungal growth, and Tara once again getting his massive Colossus stuck by fungal growth and losing it once more. But so far it looks like rounds on rounds of Zealots still making their way in, trying to take down all of the key tech. Evolution Chamber will get taken down, Spawning Pool will get taken down, and this is going to become a 2-base Zerg who is only running on, only a 2-base Zerg who still needs to rebuild all of his tech. We are going into a mothership now, as the Corruptors are finally going to chase away this War Prism, but so many key tech buildings have been lost. High Templars now being added, but what are those High Templars going to do? They are simply just going to get surrounded by all of those Broodlings from that Broodlord attack. Mothership also being added as well. Mutalisks are being added as a new round of Zealots come in, and it looks like it is going to snipe down the Spire once more. Broodlords are not going to be able to finish off this group of Zealots before the Zealots finish off that Spire, and the Spire is once again taken down. Need to finish up the layer before we can build the Spire. Need to get the Infestation Pit before you can get into Hive, before you can get into the Greater Spire to add on to this Broodlord number. Hazed currently sitting on 14 Broodlords though. Very happy. And now what is this? Archons. 3-2 Archons. Soon to be 3-3 Archons, as we are now going into a Stargate play. Alright, Stargate play is not something you normally see, but perhaps Void Rays are going to be in the future. Void Rays very effective at dealing with Broodlords and Corruptors. The Void Ray has equal range, but in comes a Mutalisk now, and what is going on here? The Mutalisk are going to be making their way in, and there is nothing to protect any of these very precious buildings. The massive units, or all these units, are now simply returning back. Where is this mothership going to try to go? Sentries and Stalkers are all retreating back, as well as a massive Broodlord army attacking over here at the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock position. Pylon's going to get taken down first, and Tara now has to be careful. He needs to save these probes, as we now see Roaches putting pressure on over here at what I will call the 5th base of Tara before it even gets set up. Mutalisks going down very quickly, and it looks as though, yes, the mothership is going to arrive just in time. The Stalker is able to blink together, and the Mutalisks will go down here, but this massive Broodlord army is still too much, as Tara just sitting on 2 bases and is sitting on his standing army, and it looks like the late game Protoss with so many Broodlords very effective. So far, it looks like we are going to be going into massive Zealots here once again. No assimilators at all. 1 base was traded, so it is now going to be a 2 base, or almost a 3 base, as Hayes now getting in some more spine crawlers. Stalker's going to be blinking forward, going after those Roaches. The Roaches move very quickly, and without the Zealot charge on them, and only the natural movement speed on the Zealot charge, these Zealots are not going to be able to chase any of these Zealots, especially on creep. Overseer is off over here. Tara does have a whole bunch of photon cannons, as we are going to have another massive engagement. And now in comes the mothership. The mothership is going to be a very big issue, as the stalkers can easily take down a lot of those units. Are they detected is the key question. I believe so, as the Overseer is here. It looks like the hatchery will get taken down once more. Taking down the Corruptor should be a very, very high priority, as the broodlings are dealing so much damage. We do have enough for an Archon toilet. What is going down? 5 Archons not actually going after any of these units. All of those broodlings are on timed life. And if you didn't know, units on time life still die in a vortex. All right, here we go. All of these broodlords are back over here. I believe all you needed was just one vortex and then getting all of those Archons inside. Instead, it looks like it could be an Archon toilet with Psystorm to boot. And that would be huge, allowing so much massive damage in just a matter of seconds. Void Rays are not upgraded, no weapons upgrade. There are more Archons being added to this army. Archons are upgraded 47 splash damage, as the Stalker is going to quickly take down that Overseer there. All right, things are still looking very good for Tara. Tara somehow has let this game really slip away from him and get out of control. Hazed with so many broodlords, and he's really been able to keep these broodlords alive much better than I expected him to. We are going to see the Void Rays now look to push in. A changeling does get taken down. Multiple changelings get taken down, in fact. And now, with one observer here, he knows that this hatchery has not been placed down. And I think Tara is simply trying to mine off of the one base that he currently has, knowing that his opponent can't really mine all too much either. Queens just constantly hitting injects. Income much, much higher, as we now see an engagement of broodlings against units here. There's a fungal growth, trading energy for hit points. There is a vortex, and oh, that is more of a non-aggression pact there. Units are jumping inside that. The units should not be going in. Massive Psystorm now coming in as well. The mothership cannot get stuck inside there. And what is going to go down? There's some more Psystorm. More units going to get destroyed. All of those broodlords get taken down. Archons, Psystorm coming in. The broodlords trying to drop in more units. Archons, more Psystorm coming in. Massive damage on both sides. Archons need to get underneath those broodlords in order to deal that damage here. Now spine crawlers coming in and getting in some easy shots on Archons, when the Archons should really trying to go up onto the high ground. But now with Void Rays in the group, the Void Rays are dealing so much damage. One Infestor down. Is the second Infestor now down as well. And what is going to happen with those broodlords? Broodlords are going to take a lot of damage, but it looks like the Void Rays will fall to Infested Terrans. Yes, the Infested Terrans will finish it off, but now the broodlord count is now down to 5. And I think those Void Rays were just what the Doctor ordered, what he needed. And now we're going to see perhaps the Stalkers and the Colossi engage in a much better position. And that should be it. Archons now being added here. 150 versus 117. A massive, massive battle between these two armies. And it looks like it will finally come into one final push. But there are a lot of Zerglings on the map. Some broodlords are still there. They are naturally being regenerated. Production tab shows a whole bunch of corruptors, but Hazed in a dominant, Tara in a dominant lead, as Hazed did a valiant effort in trying to fight back and get his way back into this. But these 2-2 Zerglings, simply not enough for this 3-3 Protoss army that is now getting carriers. All right, I'm trying to think of any unit that I did not see from the Protoss army, and I can't think of any. Phoenix. We saw a hallucinated Phoenix, so I guess it was just a hallucination that I saw every unit come in. So far, Zealots are making their way in, gonna be able to shut down this mining once more. And a Zealot is going to clear out, make sure that there is nothing going on there at all. One pylon now warping in. It looks like we are once again trying to go into a greater spire. There are a good amount of infestors on the field, 4 that are trying to regenerate their energy. As long as Hayes can stay up on that gas, he should be fine. There is still gas left on these geysers, so if he really needed the gas, he could just build up a macro hatch here and then start trying to get more and more gas. All of this has been mined out already. Gas is really going to be the limiting factor. Zerg is sitting on 500 gas with 1,800 minerals. One Colossus now making his way across the field here. That is a Colossus on a suicide mission, going that far and not really doing much about it. Here we go. No, it looks like Tara wanting to make sure that all units are nearby. We are getting the graviton catapults. We are going into carriers. Carriers are ready to go. The mothership does have vortex and enough for a mass recall. What is he going to do with all of these units, as more and more interceptors are still being added? Alright, pylon now being warped in. This proxy pylon will get destroyed. Another pylon comes in here. Zealots are now looking to just surround and take down all of these units. It looks like the Zerglings are going to go up against these Zealots. The Zealots do have superior upgrades, so they will be able to two-shot all of these Zerglings. The pylon is up and running, and is Tara. Yes, Tara is now going into some Dark Templars. Dark Templar is going to finish this off, slicing and dicing at this hatchery. Hatchery will get cancelled, taking down the drone once more. And what is going to be happening next? Mothership, where are the carriers? The carriers have arrived, and they haven't even seen battle yet. And this this carrier army only has 2 carriers, soon to be 3. And I think Tara needs every bit of firepower that he can get. Tara now looking to expand into his opponent's, what would be his opponent's 5th base. And I believe Tara just has complete control of the game now. And here we go. Broodlords are engaging. There's a fungal growth. And what is going to be happening here? Archons now trying to make their way forward. No, absolutely no vortex there. That was a perfect time for a toilet to just vortex all of those units in. We are seeing an observer now make its way in as well. The infestors were trying to get off some fungal growths. I guess you could have technically said that the Archons couldn't move because of the infestor fungal growth. But if you hit the vortex on the infestors, the vortex lasts longer than fungal growth. There you go, hitting and missing with, I believe that was a double vortex. That was no good whatsoever. Archon's now trying to jump inside. And what is happening here? The Broodlords and the Broodlings coming in. I can't tell how many units are actually inside here, as the Queens are now trying to engage as well. Massive Broodlings. Here you go. Archon now trying to engage. But that was a bad vortex coming in from Tara, as Tara loses some more of his units. So far, now carriers now looking to arrive and finish the job. The carriers are upgraded 1-0. So those interceptors are dealing 12 damage. There is no armor upgrades on those Broodlords. And these carriers so effective, surprisingly, against these Broodlords, especially since the Broodlords cannot attack back. The carrier, the final push, the final unit that was needed in order for Hazed. I believe Hazed will be forcing, or will be giving a GG. No, Hazed not giving a GG. Still fighting very, very valiantly, as Hazed has lost 41,000 army compositions, 3,000 resources, or a total of 4,500 versus over 11,000. And there finally is the GG. Hazed realizing that he cannot take this game. Tara taking game 1. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.